Wonka going to start things out for us here. This is the second episode of the session. He's got the old King Jack off.
Yep, that's true. Hey,
He's
you'll
playing
notice
great.
an empty seat that used to be
Yeah.
filled by Jacki Burkhart, who lost 2 bullets in pretty quick order there.
Kind of record time for the show.
She did finish 5th in the World Series of Poker Ladies event this year, so that should be nice to remember as she drives home.
Yeah, you can actually see her in the background drinking a soda.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
Maybe a beer.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, diamonds would be bad for Poker Mutant, but instead he flops top pair and an open ender.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ken also with the overcards in an open ender. And it looks like Ken is going to bet. I guess it's been checked to him. It has.
Certainly,
Surprised.
Poker Mutant, who we didn't see in action at all last
Yeah,
episode.
I'm surprised he didn't bet this.
Well, he's not folding. I know that.
Certainly not folding, but it seemed like a pretty clear bet when it came to him, and so he just decided to check it. But okay, that's
Well,
a good card for the Mutant.
Makes the straight, and he's going to lead. I kind of like leading.
Well, it's almost always going to check through if you
Right.
check, right? And you don't want to give a free card, and you can also do this with bluffs. I don't think Ken's going to fold with the open ender, but let's see.
I think he should.
I wasn't talking about what he should do. Oh, is Ken raising?
No, he just calls.
Oh, okay. I thought he got the black chips there for a second. He's going to call. He's going to have to find a lot of folds on the river, though. Yep. He's got nothing
I
now.
think Ken should have folded the turn there. Do you disagree?
Well, I think so, just because of the size of the bet. Did it go check on the
No,
river?
all in fold.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. And the Mutant shows him. I'm just going to call him the Mutant.
Okay.
It's cool, right?
Whatever you want to do, man. It's your life,
Yeah. Yeah, it's my life.
and it's now or never. You're not going to live forever.
And I'm not going to wait forever.
You just want to live while you're alive.
Is that what he says?
I think
I
so.
live while I'm alive?
I think he says something like that.
That's a bad lyric.
Speaking of,
I'm coming out and saying it.
I'm speaking of the venerable John Bon Jovi.
Yep.
Everybody's got bad lyrics sometimes.
Not
Like,
everybody.
What is Elton John talking about on Mars?
Don't get on Elton John.
The Rocket Man? Come on.
Yeah, there's some bad lyrics in there, too. But Elvis Costello doesn't have bad lyrics.
Oh, not ever. Not once.
Not ever.
Oh, Bob Dylan doesn't have bad lyrics.
So we can't see the action right now. There we go. We knew it would kick in eventually. Let's see if anyone has decided to. Oh, Dobie's raised up to 35.
With the 8-5 of diamonds.
Okay. We've seen him get pretty loosey-goosey with his opens, and this is a continuation of that when he's +1. Just remember the easy call on the button.
There's no one there to raise them if you did. What the hell, Elton John?
Yeah, it's a weird.
Well, we're going to
thing
get
to
some
say.
action here. Dobie's got the pair in the backdoor flush draw. Terminator's got the pair in the backdoor straight draw. I guess Dobie has a weaker backdoor straight draw
Yeah.
as well.
Terminator's certainly not going to fold to one bet on this flop.
He raised.
Terminator's certainly not going to fold.
That's an interesting play. I don't think Dobie can fold against Terminator yet, but it is
No.
not a fun spot. Terminator has...
You got two back doors. You
He
can't
doesn't
really
have the
fold
type of
yet.
hand you would expect, but I think he has too many draws on this board when he raises.
Good card for Dobie on the turn.
Yeah.
I expect he's going to go check a lot here now that Terminator's bet has been called. Let's see. No, he's reaching. Dobie really can't fold.
So I guess Terminator's just protecting now at this point. I don't really understand
Yeah.
the value of this bet. He's not going to fold out an overpair or a 10.
You figure it's very unlikely to fold out either one of those. But I think he is bluffing. I think he's betting, praying that he gets folds and didn't, and is now going to check back pretty much all rivers that aren't an 8.
Yeah, it just seems like an unnecessary bet there. Hey, guess what? He's
chopping.
chopping.
Gotta believe it's going to go check, and it does. Dobie holds on. That turn card really made it easier for him that time. By the way, back to Elton John for a second. So in Rocket Man, the notion is, so somehow we're living on Mars, but there's no one there to raise them. We're the only people on Mars, but we've decided to have kids. What are we talking about here? What culture does that spring out
You're not
of?
giving them enough of the premise. He's saying one of the bad things about being the Rocket Man, which is what he is, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Is that Mars isn't a great place to raise your
the
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
but there's no one there
cold as
to
hell.
raise them.
If you did.
If you did.
So I'm saying if you did.
What does that
why
mean?
would you? If you did, you would only choose to do it if you knew there was someone there to raise them. You wouldn't. What, you're going to just take your kids out there and leave them?
What is he not raising his own kids? The Rocket Man is so special he doesn't have to raise his own kids.
Is there no rocket nanny? All right,
These
Poker
are
Mutant.
important things.
It's the first raise, I think, from Poker Mutant.
Yeah, he's got the
pre-flop.
king queen.
He
Ken's
has the
going to call
first-
the ace-9 off.
First real raising in his
Terminator's
hand.
back to Terminator's range.
Yes, that is correct.
Ooh, Mitzov.
Time for a 3-bet. Well,
He's got 2 kings and an embarrassing sports hernia
why is it embarrassing?
because it happened during recreational softball, of course.
Okay, Poker Mutant just called there with the king queen, and everyone else is going to fold. Poker Mutant in huge trouble. A queen high board would be bad for him, but
That looks like
gets
a pretty
lucky.
safe board to get away from it.
Yeah. Doesn't even have any back doors. Except the back door chopping straight. It's a super fast fold. I guess Mitzov probably does three. I don't know if Mitzov really 3-bets light very much. He raises light on the flop a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
Well,
know if we
I don't
can-
know. There were some sessions in the past
Yeah.
where Mitzov was 3-betting a whole
You're right.
bunch.
That's true.
But it seems like he was targeting Snuggie and Batiste, and those players are not in this game.
Yeah, and Poker Mutant, this is literally the first time he's raised in almost an hour of play, and so
Right.
Mitzov usually is a little careful with who he's targeting, so that would be actually a good reason to just fold your.
I don't know if
king
I'd call it careful. I'd call it spiteful. He's targeting the people that he knows best and he wants to cause pain to.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's another king queen. All right, Digital Dan, we want to see you raise it, not limp it. Oh,
he limped it.
He always limps it there.
Mitzvah's going to raise it.
At least he's on the button.
7-8.
He's going to get at least one call, if not two.
Terminator's probably going to fold
We
based
know
on how he's
Digital-
been playing.
Digital Dan's definitely going to call.
Oh, Terminator called.
And Digital Dan, of course, calls as well. Digital Dan gets there.
And
Everyone
Mitzvah-
gets there, actually.
Yeah, well, I don't think Terminator's going to be in the hand by the turn most of the... Well, since he's first before Digital Dan, he might call.
Yeah. He might decide to call once. I don't know. He's been tighter with his folds, and there we go. Digital
Dan's
Dan, of course.
definitely calling. We've seen Dan raise in spots like this before. I don't think that would be a good thing to do here.
I agree. This is a pretty straightforward call.
Looks like that's what he's doing.
Yep.
And now Mitzvah's probably shutting down on all non-improvements.
Well, that's a really
that's an
unlucky
improvement.
card. Digital Dan checks. He's going to have to call again.
He's not going to be putting Mitzvah on too many eights. He's going to think that if he's beat, it's ace-king or aces most of the time.
It's also a questionable story. Mitzov might be checking back those hands a lot on the turn, the ace, king, or aces.
Yeah, because Dan has eights in his range.
Yeah, Dan's the guy who has the 8 usually, and so for Mitzov to bet here, it doesn't feel like he's supposed to have anything.
I don't think you can fold as
We
Dan.
block top set. I mean, I think we have to call as Dan. Let's see if the digital one agrees. He's breathing kind of hard.
He does a lap every time the camera's not on him. He's really good at getting
I
back
feel
in
like
time.
Digital Dan's been working out. He looks like he could beat somebody up.
He can beat
Look
you
at those
up.
guns.
He can beat you up.
You should just punch Mitzov in the face, see how that feels.
I don't think you should incite violence.
Okay, so this is the kind of run out where Mitzvah, as it turns out, has a super strong hand, but you wouldn't think, like, this is a really good time to bluff catch as Digital Dan if
Yeah,
Mitzvah
I
were to
mean,
bet
if
again.
Mitzvah had aces or ace-king, he would strongly consider checking and probably
Right.
should check. So Dan might think, what are you betting? It has to be
Right.
a bluff unless you have an 8 or a 5, which how do you
Exactly.
have that?
Like, Mitzvah is not going to bet queens here, but he might feel obligated to bet ace-queen. So,
Yeah.
ace-jack, whatever, some other weird stuff. I don't know how you can fold this hand in this spot. This is just a really, really unlucky
Yeah,
run
it's
out.
interesting because Mitzvah happens to have a value hand. I think this is a really bad time to bluff if you're Mitzvah, but
Yeah.
a great time to value bet, which means it's really hard to be balanced in a situation like this because one is such a better thing than the other.
Well, yeah.
Dan's thinking it through.
I mean, you just can't bet very much on the river as Mitzvah with almost any of your hands, really. And this is one of the hands he can bet with.
I think I would
You can have
call.
a few bluffs, but shouldn't have that many. But like you said, it's hard to be balanced that way. Usually you're going to have too many bluffs.
I think I would call if I were Dan.
Yeah, me too. I would have already called. I would have called and lost. Dan sometimes gets away from these hands in these spots. This is such a good candidate to lose, though. You're supposed to lose with this one. You know, it's like flop and middle set. You're just supposed to lose a lot of money. This is the way this board ran out. It's just not a friendly run out for him. The only thing worse would be if a queen came on the river, but honestly, a 5 is not that different.
It's
Except
really
we
not.
can't beat ace king now, but it shouldn't matter.
Or weirdly played like 5-6, which Mitzvah probably has in his range.
Yeah. He's not going to bet 5-6 very often on the river. Digital Dan really
On the
thinking
river?
about this. On the turn, excuse me, on
Yeah.
the turn. And he does get away
Wow.
from it. The digital one.
That was a good fold in practice. I don't know if over time that's a profitable fold, though.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't think it is either, but the digital one slinks through.
He figured something out. He must have thought that Mitzov was capable of value betting aces or ace-king. If you don't think he's capable of going 3 streets on that run out with those hands, you probably can't fold there. And I don't think people should be capable of going 3 streets with those hands on that run out.
I agree. It's like... feels like such a clear and easy check back. You're like, when you have aces, you're like, I really hope you have a king because otherwise I lose.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're not folding a 5 or an 8, and you might fold a king. So definitely not going to bet this. But Digital Dan survives.
He's a survivor. Look at that shirt.
It's like Beyonce.
He's like Beyonce.
Yeah. Lemonade.
He loves... Hey, we got a new player.
There he is. It's wheel, and he lets it go.
Wheel like a car?
Wheel like the wheel.
Which one? The car wheel?
Or the what wheel?
Boat wheel.
Interesting.
There are boat wheels, you know, like the old-timey river boats that have the wheel in the back that propels them forward.
Yeah, do you think they're called boat wheels?
I think they should be, and if they're not, I'm going to...
What are you going to do?
Start a petition. I'm going to stand outside your...
Oh, those work real well,
I'm going to stand outside your grocery store and bother you and be like, we should call them boat wheels. Sign here. What's your address?
Do you know which is my grocery store? Hey, look, Terminator's got king queen suited.
I do know what your grocery store is.
I have multiple grocery stores.
No, you don't.
Wonka likes to fold in these spots a lot.
It is Terminator, though. Terminator has like Jack 6 suited in his range.
He just doesn't like to have hands where he's going to be dominated.
He stays away from the margins, that guy.
Yeah. He's like, the game is too good for me to mess around. And I think he's probably right.
He's right, but it's boring. You shouldn't be folding ace 10. I want to watch
I know you
a
do.
hand.
You did. You just watched a hand.
There's
a hand right there. Look, there's 2 of them.
That was a crappy hand. I'm sad that we had to show the viewers that hand.
A raise, and everyone got to consider their options and folded. That's a well-played,
you know what?
That's an expert-level hand.
Wonka stole your time, and I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry.
Terminator.
If Terminator opens this hand, then Wonka's an idiot.
Terminator, by the way, Terminator, who appeared in an episode of The Librarians on TNT.
He did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Check out it. He's got an IMDb.
I know. I've played with him, and I've seen him open his wallet. He has a Screen Actors Guild membership.
There you go. I guess he has to if he's been on The Librarians. Noah Wiley. Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Stamos, whatever.
Nobody's ever said Stamos before.
I can't believe I knew any of those names.
You're a big Librarians
That's a lie.
fan.
I know.
All right, hey, we got
names.
an open ender against top pair and a gut shot. No gut shot, just top pair.
Still, this is a recipe for action. Digital Dan, I guess, just deciding to play this hand. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know why.
Sometimes he gets bored, you know.
Ken with the check raise. It's reasonable. Totally reasonable check raise here.
He's not going to get a fold yet, that's for sure.
This is the kind of board that's better for Ken, and actually he has a good, strong draw, which plays better as a raise usually than a call out of position.
I agree.
That's a big whiff. Is Dan going to station?
Ken's not supposed to have 6s in his range unless he has 2 pair, but Ken might.
He could have 8-6, though, and 4-6, and then played this. And by the way, he could also have 5-7 and played it like
He could also have 9-7 and flush draws.
He could even possibly have pocket 4s.
Dan's going to call, it looks like, and I think you have to call here. The river, if it's a
bomb, is going to be a problem. Well,
that's a good card for Dan, actually.
Yeah. And Ken gives up.
Yep.
How happy is the digital one? He's like, I lose to all value. Good. Guess what? I win.
The reason, by the way, that I said that's a good card, I think that should be explained, is that it removes 2 combinations of sets that Ken could have.
That, as well as it's something that can slow down Ken a little bit too. Like he's not gonna. He's also gonna bet less value.
I just mean it's good against Ken's range. Yeah. Like he's more happy to call that river than some other rivers.
Yeah. Ken might just be raising all his pocket pairs when Dan limps and everyone else folds too.
That's true.
It's hard to know.
That's true also. But 4s are a candidate to not.
4s are the most likely non-raised set spot. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah.
Made perfect sense.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Yep. And I'm sorry that our salaries are so disproportionate, but I say things like that and you don't. You understand.
I get it.
As you said, that's why I get the big bucks.
I actually pay your salary.
Yeah.
So I lose money every episode.
Every episode it costs you.
Hey, we're going to get to see some wheel action, like the boat wheel.
The wheel of time.
He's going to start off opening a pretty bad hand in the
old King 8 and right into Jack.
Ran right into it. Welcome to the game.
I have a feeling this hand's going to be over quickly.
Well, let's see how spewy wheel is, I guess.
Yeah, we're
gonna
learn.
find out real quick.
Well, we may not see. Oh, there we go. We do get to see. He's thinking about it, but this is really a 4-bet fold spot, and I think it's
mostly
a fold
spot. Cutoff button is the best time to 4-bet in this scenario, if you're going to have a king blocker, I guess. But that's a disciplined fold.
What do you mean cutoff button is the best time to 4-bet in this scenario? Can you explain what
I think
what
the most
hell
likely
those words mean?
the most likely time that
Yeah.
light 3-bet is coming in is the cutoff button.
Not button small blind?
I feel like it's cutoff button, but maybe I think it was button small blind in 2014.
Okay.
And now it's cutoff button.
Okay, that's possible.
I feel like
Those
button,
are two pretty good spots, though.
button small blind became a thing where small blind was light so often that small blind was getting 4-bet so often that players don't 3-bet light out of the small blind as much as they used to.
Yeah.
This is a nice hand for Dobie. I like it.
You know why they call him Dobie, right?
Because he can't spell doobie?
Actually, no, but that's a hell of a guess. And close.
Hey, Ken's going to 3-bet.
Yep. He sure is. And
Ooh,
Terminator's
Terminator.
got ace-queen off.
He's got a decision. I think it's reasonable to fold.
It is. It is totally reasonable. Being out of position, especially.
I
Only
imagine we'll
$5
see
invested.
Dobie continue, although Ken's stack depth would lean me towards folding. But if Ken were deeper, I would like to call.
I mean, it's reasonable to call, but I agree with you. I think you're probably supposed to fold this hand. It just sucks how tight you're supposed to be in this game.
Well,
Anyway, here's the
if,
call.
If Ken were deeper, you could call
Of course,
comfortably.
of course, yeah.
And a terrible flop for Ken.
We can also see just how much trouble Dobie's in this. When you get 3-bet and you have 10 high, you can be drawing really thin.
He's against the literal worst hand to be against.
Of
for
course,
his hand.
but if you're up against queens, it ain't so good either.
It's not great. But if you're deeper, there's ways to win a lot of money. And
Of
this
course.
looks like it's just going
By
to
the
check all
way,
the way down.
Dobie could, have taken a shot at somewhere along the way, and this is not a bad time either when the jack pair's on
He's
the
considering it. He could have Jack Queen or something like that.
river. I don't hate a bet at all. Oh, but
he
he
just gives
decides
it up.
not to.
Ken
What
gets to
is Ken
win.
gonna? You think Ken's gonna call?
Another Elton John opinion
Yeah.
that I've expressed on the podcast, but not here on Poker Time. I really like Elton John, a lot of his songs. I think
Oh yeah, here it comes.
Benny-
Here comes the shot.
Benny and the Jets and Crocodile Rock are garbage, just pure, putrid garbage songs.
I'm pretty sure you shared that on this show as well.
Did I? Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
reiterate it because I really mean it.
No one else thinks that, just to be clear.
Your song is amazing. It's a
Your song is amazing.
It's a great
and
song.
better than those songs, but those songs are absolutely good.
Candle in the Wind.
Yeah. Naming other good Elton John songs doesn't hurt the value of Crocodile
What
Rock
I'm trying,
and
I'm,
Benny and the Jets.
No, I'm trying to save face here and say like I do like Elton John, and I actually
no one
am
believes that.
backing it up by saying the songs that I like.
Yeah, good job. Name the hits. Yeah, that means you're really a big Elton John fan.
How are they're all hits, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, they're all
it's
hits.
Elton. Hey. Digital Dan has an interesting check raising hand, in my opinion. I think it would be a fun hand to check raise here. The gut shot with the backdoor
I
flush draw.
don't see it coming.
I don't see it coming either, but I would like to.
I expect he's going to call once because it's $35.
No, he's gonna fold. See?
Wrong again.
Look at this guy fold.
He calls. That is a pretty good card for Digital Dan. This is a great check raise spot. And now, we can rep Queen 10, I guess.
I mean,
and
I
Ace
think it's
7,
just
and
it's give up time. Oh,
he's going to take a shot. Will Mitzov call? He's got no kicker.
he's gonna call quickly. It looks like.
Yep. Digital Dan loses. Mitzov.
I
Gotta
wonder-
feel good about that.
I wonder if that's a spot where there was an emotional investment in the pot that wasn't there before he picked up the combo draw on the turn. Like, would Dan have bluffed if it was the 4 of spades on the
and it
turn
went check,
instead
check.
of the 4 of clubs? Like, that affects you mentally a little bit. You feel a little bit more entitled to the pot. Maybe you're more likely to bluff on the river when you pick up the draw, even though it has nothing to do.
Well, you
with,
start to make plans for being aggressive on the
Yeah.
turn. Like when he checks, he's probably checking a check raise. And so like now you're in check, now you're in aggression mode a little bit too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and then the next opportunity you get to act is to bluff the river. And that was a good card to try and bluff at least with. An overcard came.
That's the first time I've had that thought, by the way. That
Yeah.
particular thought. Do you agree with it?
I don't know, actually. I'm curious to think about more about it. I've never heard anyone say that even, or I've never heard it expressed. So I have to ponder it a little bit.
Mitzov with another big pair.
Yep. See how much he makes it.
Looks like 140 or something like that.
Poker Mutant. This is a better calling hand than the King Queen. He's still dominated, but
You
this
mean
makes
because
more
it's
sense.
Ace Queen?
Yeah.
And Ace Queen is better than King Queen?
It plays better as a call when you get 3-bet, is what I actually
Because
mean.
it's a better hand. Is there another reason?
It's higher up in our distribution.
Yeah, so you're just saying it's a better hand again. All right, so Poker Mutant flops a gut shot. Mitzov does not love the king out there.
He's going to continue anyway, and that's probably going to do it. Poker Mutant could call once in position here, basically just float with the gutter and the over. 210, though.
It's a pretty big bet. So.
Yeah, and he only has 1.1K behind. It's totally reasonable to fold there.
The thing as Mitzov there just sucks so bad when you get called with 210.
Yeah.
Like, you're just praying he has Jack 10 suited there.
Yep, that is correct. Here's the cumulative winnings. You see Wonka way up, Terminator killing it, Digital Dan not so much.
Is this accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Mitzvah down 450.
Ken's down 420, and if you think that's a mistake, you're a fool.
What do you,
Don't worry about it.
what do you say? Are you talking? Is this a drug thing?
Oh,
This is a drug thing.
Yeah. Ken's down 420 on purpose.
All right, here's Wheel.
Look at Ken. That guy's a weed head.
Got the ace-9 off. Ken may not appreciate you saying that. I'm sure he's not a weed head.
Well, what if he is?
I don't know if he is or not.
He's probably not.
If he's not, though, he may not appreciate you saying
It's
that.
fine. It's legal in Oregon.
But he still may not appreciate you saying it. It's like saying that guy's an alcoholic. What if he isn't? You're slandering the dude. What if his employer's watching Poker Time?
What
right
if he
now
is?
And
I think it's
and
worse.
fires Ken. What
I
if
think-
Ken gets fired?
I think it's worse if he is an alcoholic when you say that, by the way.
All right, so we got all sorts of hands in here. 6 players to the flop. And somehow, not a whole lot of anything.
No, nobody flopped anything fun at all.
Terminator with the gutter.
Ken has the most equity with 2
Is
sixes.
Wheel going to continue into the whole world? Yes, he is.
This guy is crazy.
This is going to work. Everyone's just going to have to fold here.
I think that is accurate.
This is an optimistic continuation bet. However, sometimes optimism is warranted.
You see that look on Ken's face? He's like, damn, I'm down more than 420 now. Can't express my views.
Wheel, sort of like the cat who ate the canary that time.
Yeah.
Like pretty happy about eating canaries. He loves canaries.
Yeah, the canary meat is lean, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
The best is canary bone marrow, but it's hard to extract because the
you
bones
need
are so small.
A really good chef.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Everyone knows what you're talking about. All right, Mutant. He's played a few hands. Nothing's gone super well yet.
That one's not a good one.
Everyone's just dropping off. Mitzvah probably going to play this one, though. From the cutoff, it's actually reasonable.
Yeah, I like it.
Wonka does what he does, which is fold.
Yeah, got a shrimp shirt, though. So
Yep.
that's good.
Paisley Shrimp.
Wheel is definitely going to play this one. Boat Wheel.
And Wheel and Mitzvah both hit the flop.
And Wheel's got the backdoor flush draw as well.
Mitzvah with the quick and long bet that time.
The long bet tell. Oh, Wheel's a little
Oh.
shaky there.
Yeah. Ooh, what do I even do with this hand? He's
making some fake faces. I don't know what that's about.
He's
He's trying to encourage future bluffing, perhaps.
Perhaps. I don't know how well that kind of stuff really works, but maybe it works.
Well, that's a club. Doesn't
that's
love
not-
that. And it's also a 9.
Yeah.
So Mitzvah is actually ahead.
No more future bluffing. Now just future valuing.
Although the club is not the best card for Mitzvah.
No.
It's still
You'll
a
take
fine
it.
spot to
You
continue.
prefer, if you could pick a card, 9 of clubs would be among the cards you would have
Now,
said yes
if
to.
Wheel folds here, it might be a bit of an indictment on this bet. If we're getting a fold out of Ace-8. That may be Wheel being overly tight, or maybe that we shouldn't be betting even though we improved.
I mean, it doesn't have to be an indictment on the bet, though, even if he folds here, because we could get calls. We could charge things that are aces with a club in their hand and stuff like that.
True. If Wheel has... he
has ace-
doesn't have too many big aces because it was a late position
Right.
open.
No, he's got like Wheel was in the big blind, too. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got like ace-8 off and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't know if the 8 of clubs is enough to...
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're
So you're saying like
consider
so the only big ace are like ace-jack
Yeah.
off. That's like the only
Yeah.
one. Yeah, could he have anything else that makes sense? He could have a 10 with a club in it, I guess.
Queen 10 with a queen of clubs or something like that.
Even king 10 with the king of clubs. There's not too many hands, though.
I understand.
But Mitzov is also protecting his equity against clubs. He doesn't want to give a free card.
I definitely don't think it's like a bad bet necessarily. I just think it's worth exploring, especially when we find a fold from ace-8 there.
Yeah. I also think you got to be a little careful just saying it's an indictment on a bet when, like, in a stochastic situation like this, you know.
Whoa,
like,
stochastic.
Yeah.
I just wanted to use the word indictment, and I guess you just wanted to use the word stochastic.
I just wanted to one-up you, and I think I succeeded.
Oh, stochastic's definitely a better word than indictment.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that.
I think everybody would.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So like in a very, very small sample size situation like that, where just because the ace-8 folds doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad bet, you know, like against, like some other people may call with ace-8, just Wheel didn't. Anyway, here we are.
It's a super fragilistic flop.
Nice.
Did I just one up you?
The mutant.
The mutant has top pair, best hand, and he's going to go ahead and lead right out.
You know why they call him Poker Mutant, right?
Because he slowly transforms.
It can't be that.
What is it then?
Yeah, he's a big X-Men fan. But comic books only.
Yeah.
Hates the movies.
Stay canon.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, can you believe what they did to Wolverine? Super upset. He's like, not my Wolverine.
Elton John or David Bowie?
Elton John.
I don't know. It's close for me.
Really? How many David Bowie songs can you name?
I can name at least 3.
Yeah. How many Elton John songs can you name? You've already named in this episode like 9.
But David,
that's a little much.
David
That'll be
Bowie
6.
has like, I think I like the best of David Bowie better than I like the best of Elton John.
Really? What's
Yeah.
the best of David Bowie in your
Well,
opinion?
it's more of a collaboration, but I think Under Pressure is his best project.
Okay.
I mean, that's a really good song. Life on Mars, that's a better Mars-based
song's pretty great.
lyrically song than
That song is
Elton
pretty
John's Mars-based song.
By the way, we have Dobie 3-bet here.
Okay,
so
Dobie
let's
3-bet.
pay attention. Sorry, Dobie 4-bet here. I take it back.
Whoa, that is serious.
Here we are talking about ridiculous music stuff.
That's on me.
We'll come back to that in a more boring hand. Let's focus for a second.
I think Mitzov's just going to fold.
Yeah, he is. Then we can talk about music.
This is a
again.
very interesting spot for a 4-bet. I kind of like it.
Yeah, this is sort of like, well, I don't love just calling here. Even though I'm in position, I'm going to lose a lot. Ace queen off doesn't flop that well. Flops are right, and instead I'm just going to like win a lot. And when I get 5-bet, I can fold instantly, clearly, right, as Dobie. And that's that. And you hope no one has it. You might even be able to fold out some very good hands too.
You can fold out maybe 2 9s or something like that.
I think you can fold out. You might be able to fold out 2 jacks. If the original opener has 2 jacks, might just fold to a 3 and a cold 4-bet. I think they're probably supposed to.
That was such an interesting 4-bet that we're going to take a look at it for a while.
We really need people to ponder this 4-bet. All right, Terminator apparently is not under the gun.
It says he's under the gun. It's
some
a lie.
issues.
Having a couple issues.
Let's not worry about that too much.
Let's think about
look at some other things, people.
I mean, the issues are stochastic.
They can be. So, all right.
All right, we're figuring it out. Here we go. Look at Wonka having a good time. Isn't that what you like to see?
Wonka. I don't know what he's laughing
Wheel
at.
has 2 jacks over in the cutoff.
There he is, and he's raised it up to 75.
He made it 75.
That is a large raise.
I gotta believe it's because he has jacks, unless I see him open to this size with every hand that he opens.
Well, he certainly hasn't been. He didn't open that size with
King 8
Ace 9 off.
or King 8.
Terminator did call though.
Well, that's a good flop for Wheel, even though we're looking at the other side of the table.
Is Terminator
Just leads.
leads right
what a
into
miracle!
top set.
This is a bad time to lead just in practice because he's against top set.
Well, anytime you put your opponent on top set, I would say don't lead.
I agree.
Or even check raise. I guess unless you have a better hand.
Yeah, if you have a straight or something.
Yeah, but don't try and bluff mostly when you put them on top set.
Oh, look at this.
What do I do?
Wheel is
What
an
do I
actor.
What do
This
I
guy-
even do with
This
this
is his
hand?
first time on Poker Time, and look at this guy act.
Dude, call.
Oh, the head shake raise. You cannot do the head shake raise.
And the quick fold.
I mean, if
You
I
gonna
were in
show it?
no,
Yeah.
if I were in Terminator seat and I had Queen Jack there, I would fold simply because of the head shake raise.
The head shake raise is James Cameron is on the horn.
Yeah.
You need someone for Avatar 6.
Because they're horrible actors in that movie. 'Cause
Ouch.
that's a really bad acting job there. The head shake raise.
So Mitzov is a blind raise, and just to remind everyone, if you're new to the show, That is not a straddle. That's a blind raise. That's a dead raise or dead straddle, I guess, not a live
We call
one.
it the minus EV dummy raise.
Well, we don't call it. We don't say that actually. We we think it. We don't say it.
Oh, okay, my bad. We can edit that out in post, right?
Great. Yeah, no problem. No one will ever know you said that. Dovey's gonna take his shot as he should.
Yeah, I like it.
To 55 with the ace-3 suited. Terminator sticking around with some hand of some sort or another. There we go.
Queen 10 off.
It's a bit of an optimistic call, and Digital Dan understandably calls with the 7-6.
It's kind of an interesting spot for a 3-bet if you're Digital Dan here.
Yep, agreed. Same for Terminator. I mean, I like Terminator as a 3-bet. His hand especially is a 3-bet more so than anything else. A whole lot of nothing except Dobie flops top pair.
So you didn't see that when you started talking.
I was looking at the top 2 hands on that board, not the third one.
We got backdoor draws for Dan and Terminator and Dobie. So it's pretty exciting.
Often you're going to have backdoor draws if you have any kind of reasonable hand to start with. You have connected cards that are suited. You're often going to have backdoor draws.
Stop pulling back the curtain, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about how this hand is.
The Wizard of Oz is just a man, bro. Just a man. So let's get back to David Bowie. So you named one song. No, you named 2 songs. And Life on Mars, I don't really agree with you about Under Pressure. Life on Mars, I'm there. That's a great song.
You don't like Under Pressure?
It's fine.
Oh my God, you're gonna get killed in the comments.
Bring it on.
You don't like Under Pressure?
What else do you think is a great David Bowie song in your mind?
Ziggy Stardust?
It's pretty good. How about the Ground Control to Major Tom?
Oh yeah, that one's great.
What is that actually called?
Ground Control to Major Tom?
It's definitely not called that. Maybe it's called Major Tom.
Space Flyman.
Space Oddity. It's called Space Oddity.
That's right.
That song's great.
Yeah. See, look at this. You're a Bowie fan over Elton John.
No.
You don't like Under Pressure. Is that real?
I never really understood people who like.
Was it just overplayed when you were young or something?
No. I just don't like it that much.
Wow.
It doesn't do it for me.
What's wrong with you?
So we got Ace-7 and Ace-4 with the limping.
And we got a 7.
And we got the open-ender for Mitzov.
Yeah, Mitzov might check raise if there's a bet.
This is a great time to check raise, especially there. And you see him already reaching for chips.
Looks like there was a bet, and Mitzov is check raising.
Yep.
Made it. Looks
Terminator
like
bets 25 with middle pair.
Yep.
And I expect by the time we get back to him, bottom pair, you're right. Quick fold. Everything went perfectly for Mitzov there. I guess it would also been great if he got a call, turned the nuts, and Terminator rivered an improving hand like 2 pair.
Let me ask you this. Do you like Baba O'Reilly by The Who?
Yeah.
That's like a very similar vibe song to Under Pressure, I feel. If you like one, you usually like the other.
You're obviously not a big fan of the CSI franchise of television shows.
See, that's not that song. That's a different song.
There's 3 different Who songs, bro.
But they don't use Baba O'Reilly in any of those, do they?
Are you sure?
No, but I would bet it. If you want to bet, we can make it a bet on air.
I think I want to bet it.
All right, let's do it. $20. You're all witnesses.
Done.
All right.
I don't know if I'm right or not.
All right, Wheels got ace queen. He's going to make it 50. So 75 for jacks, 50 for ace queen, and 30 for bad hands is what we've seen so far.
I feel like I probably made a bad bet there.
Yeah, you absolutely did.
I know that one of them is Who Are You? And another one is Won't Get Fooled Again. Uh-oh, I'm down to one song. I'm going to lose.
I'm pretty sure that's the same song, isn't it?
No.
Who Are You and Won't Get Fooled? No, it's not.
See, this gives me confidence again.
Now
Maybe I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Any of the CSI franchises, there are 3. We got a shot here. I feel like Bob O'Reilly might be. All right, well, we're going to
Why would they have Teenage Wasteland as like the chorus for anything that is in CSI? The other ones make more sense.
Yeah, you make points. Anyway, here's Wheel. Jack 6. Good think. And gives it up. This time I'm going to raise with the suited ace. Wheel card, unlike last time.
Terminator with the bad ace 5.
Is that a 3-bet?
No, I think it's a call. No, it is.
3-bet.
It's a 3-bet. It's better than calling.
Yep. Dobie with the king queen could station here. Could 4-bet here.
It's a pretty odd spot, though. I think you could just fold and move on.
Mostly you just fold.
Mutant hasn't been playing a ton of hands, and he opened initially.
Yeah. Decides to call. We are at least relatively deep-ish.
You see how quickly Poker Mutant called?
Yep.
It's kind of like there wasn't any other option for him.
Yep.
I feel like you need to take a little bit more time. Like, if you're going to take more time with kings or aces, you need to take a little bit more time with ace-5 suited.
Fair point.
We both have backdoor flush draws, but I think Terminator's just going to win here.
Is that 105? Yep. And that'll do it. Nice hand by the Terminator.
And I don't think the speed with which the Mutant called affected that hand in any way.
No.
It's just... You know, if you have an obvious decision, you still need to take a little time. Maybe not. Don't tank forever like all the top pros do these days, because that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But you know, give it a little time. Don't make it so clear that you only have one potential thought process.
Right. I feel like what a lot of people actually call quickly to try and dissuade future betting, but I don't think it works against good players. Good players see that and are more apt to bet.
Yeah, and I think that's usually on the flop, not pre-flop.
Yeah, I agree. Digital Dan's been playing these kinds of hands, and yep.
He's going to limp it.
Gotta limp it.
Wonka.
This is, it's a raise or fold spot.
There's
no way he's going to limp. Yep.
We could definitely isolate.
Looks like he's going to isolate. Not something you usually see Wonka do with this kind of a hand, but
it's probably just going to be a raise and take it here unless Wheel wakes up with something.
Wheel does not wake up with something, but
he's going to...
James Cameron's on the phone, Wheel.
He can be Marine number 7.
Now, Digital Dan. He's like, why aren't these cards suited? They're the same color. It's basically the same thing.
Who is he?
I'm going to bite my hand some more. I'm hungry.
He did. He made the call.
He makes the call out of position.
Wonka doesn't love that.
Nope. Neither player really happy with their spot. Digital Dan.
Double gutter for Digital Dan.
This is a good time to play this hand fast. Although Wonka's 3-betting range is pretty tight.
He did not 3-bet.
Oh, yeah. He just raised normal.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is great.
Yeah, I think we should check raise here, Dan.
Yep.
Now, if you're going to have a check call two-way straight draw, the double gutter is better than the open ender because it's less obvious when it comes in.
Absolutely.
And you can get paid more easily.
The 6 or the 10 comes in that isn't a club. There's no way Wonka's going to see that coming. Now, he doesn't have a hand that would matter that much, but it's true. It's nice to have the hard-to-see straights.
That's a good card for Wonka, obviously.
It really, really is.
I imagine we're going to see check here. I don't know if there's a ton of value in betting as Wonka. I guess you charge flush draws.
Yeah, you could charge the draws.
You charge the double gutter, which... Oh, Digital Dan's just going to lead right out.
Wonka's now got to be a little afraid of King Jack.
King Jack, yeah, that's about it, though.
Maybe King 7 suited. Not much. Queen 10 of clubs, although, but whatever. I think Wonka's going to have to call with top pair.
A strangely played set of 5s. It would be interesting to play a set of 5s like this because Wonka has plenty of kings in his range, and you're not chasing him away on the flop, but now you're getting value on the turn where he's going to check back his one pair hands.
I don't disagree. It's not the way Digital One usually plays a strong hand, though. He usually plays those a little differently, where he'll check call a lot on the turn with his strongest hands.
Well, Dan pairs. I wish he didn't, because I think we would have had a much more interesting river.
I expect to go check a lot here now.
Although Dan doesn't really have showdown value with the 8.
No.
Maybe if Wonka has ace 10 of clubs or something.
Wonka's got to be sitting there thinking, do not bet. Oh, thank everything.
Thank the shrimp on my shirt.
Yes. Thank the paisley shrimp. Because, man, oh, man, I was going to lose. Look at that smile as the...
And Digital Dan's face, I think, might be the face of, I was going to bluff if I didn't pair.
And
it was
almost
probably going to work.
Wonka was going to fold to a Dan bet there. And as we see, it probably would have been correct since... Well, actually, we don't know.
A fault in my game, and a fault I see in a lot of people's games, I think was just expressed by Digital Dan's play there, where we feel like we have showdown value because we have what is usually showdown value, but as the hand is played out, we really don't have showdown value.
Well, I mean, Wonka could have clubs.
I mean, a lot of his clubs are combo draws that will raise the turn when Dan leads into him, too. So,
I mean, he could just have a lot of clubs, though, that he bets the nut flush draw with and calls on the turn with.
He could, but that's not that's really not a big part of his range.
But it's not like we have 0 showdown value.
No, it's not, but it's...
We can win. We can absolutely win.
It's less than it initially feels like, is all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. Easy raise for Dobie here on the button. Mutant says, "Harg."
Okay.
Doesn't he look like he would grunt a lot? I actually know the guy. He doesn't grunt, but doesn't it sort of have that feel to him? Looks like he's gonna he belongs like in a barbarian TV show or a Viking TV show.
Whoa, we got a check raise with the top trips, and that's just gonna end it. I think it's a min check raise.
I don't know if I love it with our kicker being so low. Like, this is a classic. We're often gonna fold out all the worst hands and get called by pretty much all the veterans. I guess pocket pairs could decide to call.
Pocket pairs could decide to call, and flush draws could call.
Yeah,
or flush draws will call.
There are hands here. Dobie thought about it, but ultimately it's going to take a lot of gymnastics to win.
2 backdoors.
Yep. And he's hoping if Daryl is bluffing, Daryl's of course mutant, then he'll give up at some point. So that is a reason to call, especially with the min raise. But you could also just be drawing dead.
You could be, or close to it at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's completely dead, but the paired board does not help with the 2 backdoors. That's for sure.
It does not. Now, I don't know if there was any more money for a mutant to win no matter how he played that hand, but I think that's not the optimal line either.
Probably
check
not.
Raise.
I think check call is probably what you go for there.
Even lead, I think, is probably better than something than like check raise.
Dan's going to continue the limping ways. 2 3s. Wonka's got 2 6s. It's interesting to find out if he limps or raises
He
here.
limps it this time. I was expecting him to raise.
I think it's fine to limp after Dan limps.
Dobie throws a 3 into the muck. That's going to make it tougher on the digital one.
5 deuce of clubs and queen 9. Let's see a flop, Jonathan.
Okay, here we go. And there's a flop.
That's a flop. There's
happened.
a gut shot for Ken, and he has the most equity.
Yeah, he's also got the backdoor flush draw.
Yep, and he's going to bet it. Wow.
That's going to work.
That's a bit of a surprising bet, but it's certainly going to be effective.
Yep.
It's a big bet, too.
75
Into
yeah.
50.
Wow.
Into
40. He 2x'd the pot there with queen high, and it worked like a charm.
Why'd you do an accent?
I don't know. It felt like the right thing to do. Just sometimes you have to go with the little voice in your head,
Sometimes you
like
do.
Magnum PI.
Yeah. I haven't seen that show.
Well, there's a new version of it coming out this fall on CBS.
I can't wait. Not a sponsor.
All right, this is probably going to be the last hand of this episode.
Esmeralda is telling me it probably is. but
Probably.
she doesn't actually know because she's new, and she's not going to make it past this episode.
Between us, you're mispronouncing her name, but it doesn't matter. Like you said, we're firing her for sure.
Wheel has an unknown hand up. It's
Hey.
kings. It's kings. Ding, ding, king,
Quick
king.
call from Ken with the ace-5. Terminator's in as well, though we do not. There he is. 7-5 suited.
And Mitzov, of course. And Mitzov flops middle pair.
That's about it.
Yep.
Probably call once.
Wheel's going to bet it. And
Let's see how Wheel sizes it. If he sizes it too big, he might just scare Mitzov out, which, yep, that's
125.
That's more than the pot.
yeah, Mitzov might just fold now.
These guys, look, Terminator can't fold fast enough. He's trying to fold.
Ken thinking about here?
I have no answer. He did have 2 backdoor straight draws. Mitzov folds right away. Yeah, that sizing just knocked him right out.
All right, let's see if Wheel can keep the train rolling.